Hello, my favorite English language learners. It is your favorite English teacher here, Amy Joy. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you 60 words and phrases related to airports, airplanes, and flying. And I know I'm covering a lot of words in this video, so I've actually made you a free downloadable PDF to take with you on your next trip so that you can travel a little bit more easily. So make sure you download that in the link below. I've divided this video into 5 parts. 1, booking and buying tickets. 2, suitcases and luggage. 3, airport areas and procedures. 4, the in-flight experience. And 5, arriving and travel documents. So let's start with number 1, booking and buying tickets. First, airline. This is the company that you choose to fly with. For example, Southwest, United Airlines, American Airlines, or Emirates. 2, the verb to book. This is the process of buying tickets. So if you have not bought your tickets yet, you still need to book them. Now, 3, 4, and 5 are all very similar and can be synonyms. They include your booking confirmation, your reservation, or your itinerary. These all can refer to an email that you receive after booking, confirming your flight details, time, seat numbers, etc. 6 is fare, and this is the price of a ticket. Personally, I always track the flights that I want and try to buy tickets when the fare is low. And 7 is to overbook. This is when an airline sells more tickets than seats available. And this usually creates a lot of chaos at airports because some people cannot fit in the plane and need to be booked on a different flight. Okay, let's talk about different types of tickets. You can have a round trip ticket, which is a ticket to a destination and back, or you can book a one-way ticket, which is a ticket to a destination without a return journey. It is one way. And usually I prefer to book direct flights, which is a flight with no stops. It goes directly to the destination without stopping. And usually I try to buy direct flights because they are faster. But oftentimes we do have to book flights with layovers. And a layover is a stop between flights, often requiring you to change planes. And next is a connecting flight. This is the second flight in your journey after a layover. And oftentimes connecting flights can be really stressful, especially if you have a short layover and not enough time to get from the first plane to the second plane. Or if your first flight is delayed, you then might miss your connecting flight, which is also very stressful. Now, when booking a ticket, you also have to decide what type of class you want or level of luxury. Since flying is so expensive, people usually choose to go in coach, also known as economy. This is the regular lowest level of travel. But if you want to spend a little bit more, you can also opt for business class. This is a higher, more expensive level ticket with more space and comfort. And then if you're really bougie or really fancy and want to splurge or spend a lot of money, then you can also fly first class. And this is the highest level with luxury service, seats that change into beds, and champagne and caviar. Have you ever flown first class? Let me know. I would love to hear about your experience. Okay, now let's talk about suitcases and luggage. Here we have the word baggage. This refers to the luggage or suitcases that you bring on your trip with you. And a carry-on is a smaller piece of luggage that you can bring with you into the plane itself. You carry it onto the plane, hence carry-on. Most airlines usually allow you to bring a carry-on and a personal item. And your personal item is smaller than your carry-on, usually a purse or briefcase. Then we have checked baggage. This refers to larger luggage items that are kept under the plane. And we also use the verb to check a bag, which means that you have to go through the process of giving your suitcase to an employee and having them put it under the plane for you. Then we have the annoying baggage fees. And these have gotten way worse over the years. Baggage fees are extra money that you pay for overweight or extra luggage. And number 21 is baggage claim. This is the area of the airport where you collect your checked bags. Now, whenever my parents pick me up from the airport, they always ask me, did you have to check a bag? Because they know if I did check my bags, then I have to spend some extra time going over to baggage claim to collect my checked bags. And as I'm talking right now, I just realized that I have a bonus word for you, which is carousel. This is the machine that goes around and delivers all the checked bags to the people waiting. Okay, let's talk about airport areas and procedures. Here we have the word terminal. This is the building at the airport where flights take off or arrive. And if you're at a really big international airport, there might be multiple terminals. For example, Terminal 1, 2, 3, or Terminal A, B, C. So make sure you check your terminal before flying so you don't go to the wrong one. Next is arrivals. Obviously, this is the area of the airport where people arrive. And if you are picking up a friend from the airport, you can go to arrivals because your friend is arriving and you are picking them up. Next, departures. This is the area where you go before taking a flight because you are going to depart or go away. And before departing or taking your flight, you have to check in. This is a phrasal verb that refers to the process of saying you are ready for your flight. And nowadays, usually you can do this online or you can still check in at the airport. And sometimes they even have these little kiosks or machines that let you check in by yourself at the airport. And after checking in, you will receive a boarding pass. This is a piece of paper or document on your phone that confirms you've checked in and has your flight number, gate number, and seat number on it. Okay, and once you are all checked in and you have your boarding pass, it's time to go through security, which is arguably the most stressful part of flying. So here we have the phrase, to go through security. This is a fixed phrase that refers to the process where passengers and their bags are checked for illegal or prohibited items like liquids and weapons. And when you are going through security, you'll often see signs that say TSA. This acronym stands for Transportation Security Administration. And to be honest with you, I actually did not know what this stood for until I looked it up. Everyone just calls it TSA. And this is the government agency and its workers that check your bags. And as you go through security, you will often see metal detectors and x-ray machines. Metal detectors are those devices or machines that you walk through to check for metal and weapons. And the x-ray machine is where your bags pass through so that TSA can see inside of your bag. Okay, phew! Now that you are through security, the most stressful part of flying, it is time to head to your gate. The gate is the numbered area where you wait for your flight. But if you have time and a little extra money, you could also wait for your flight in a lounge. This is a more comfortable and exclusive waiting area, often with free food and other services. Oftentimes these lounges are also connected with an airline or a credit card, so I often see things like an American Express lounge or the Emirates lounge. And while you're waiting for your flight, if you're in another country, you might want to do some duty-free shopping. Duty-free shopping refers to the shops in the airport where you do not have to pay taxes if you are flying internationally. And this is why you see a lot of luxury brands in airports, because people can save a lot of money on expensive items by not having to pay taxes on them. Okay, so now that you've waited at your gate and done all your duty-free shopping, it is time to board your flight. To board is a verb, and it refers to the process of entering the plane and finding your seat. And as you're boarding, you might hear some announcements that mention the aircraft. And if you hear the word aircraft, this just means the airplane. But in general, an aircraft can refer to any vehicle that flies, like a helicopter or a drone. And as you're boarding or stepping onto the plane, you can usually see the cockpit. This is the area at the front of the plane where the pilot and co-pilot control the aircraft or fly the plane. Then, as you continue walking, you will be in what we call the cabin. This is where passengers sit, and as you find your seat, you will walk down the aisle. This is the narrow pathway where you walk. Then, once you find your seat, you will have to put your carry-on in the overhead bin or the overhead compartment. This is the place above a passenger's seat for carry-on luggage. And another area of the airplane you might not know about is the galley. This is the kitchen area where flight attendants usually stand and prepare drinks and snacks for the passengers. And one last area you need to know is the lavatory. This is a fancy word for toilet or bathroom, and for some reason, whenever I'm on a flight, they specifically use the word lavatory or lav instead of bathroom, restroom, or toilet. So the next time you fly, listen for this word and let me know if they say it. Okay, and before we move on to our next group of words, I want to remind you, if you are studying for the TOEFL, the IELTS, or just want to improve your English vocabulary, then you might be interested in my workbook, 75 Advanced C1, C2 level words. In this book, I teach you 75 useful advanced words that I use as a native English speaker. I teach you their collocations and grammar so you not only understand the words, but can also use them yourself. So after watching this video, go to my website, yourfavoriteenglishteacher.com, and buy my workbook today to improve your English vocabulary. Okay, let's continue talking about the in-flight experience. Some of the most important people on your flight will be the flight attendants. Now, we used to call these people a stewardess, but that usually referred to only females, and so now we have flight attendants, which is more gender neutral and can just refer to anybody. These are the workers who keep passengers safe and comfortable, and they always begin each flight with a safety demonstration. And during the safety demonstration, they will always point out the emergency exit. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a special exit used during an emergency. They will also highlight where your life vest is. Usually your life vest is under your seat, and it is a vest that you can put on in an emergency and it will float in water. If there's an emergency, the oxygen mask will also fall from the ceiling, and this is simply a mask you put on your face to give you oxygen and help you breathe. And once the safety demonstration is done, it is time for takeoff. Takeoff is a noun which comes from the phrasal verb to take off. And this is the process of leaving the ground and beginning to fly. Now, during your flight, if it is very long, you will be offered in-flight entertainment. This refers to movies, music, and games provided to passengers to help entertain them during long flights. Then, to get more comfortable, you might put your armrest up or down. An armrest is just a place for your arm to rest between seats, and usually you can put it up and down. You might also lower your tray table, which is the table attached to the seat in front of you, and you might even recline your seat backwards. This means to lower the back of your seat for comfort. And over the last few years, there's actually been a big debate about whether or not it is polite or appropriate to recline your seat. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. When you fly, do you recline your seat, or do you think it's rude? Let me know in the comments. And then with your armrest down, your seat reclined, and as you're just about to fall asleep on your long flight, of course, there is always turbulence to wake you up. Turbulence refers to any sudden, unexpected movements of the plane, and sometimes it can get really bad and even pretty scary. Okay, and now that your flight is coming to an end, let's talk about landing. A synonym for landing is to descend, and the noun form descent, which means to lower or go down. And sometimes you might even hear the pilot tell the flight attendants, prepare for descent, or our descent will begin in 10 minutes. And in order to prepare for descent, you will often hear this phrase which says, return your seat to the upright position. Remember when you reclined your seat? Now it's time to return it to the upright position, which means to return it to its original position, not reclined back. Next is to land. This is the process of descending and touching the ground. Then, once you have landed, the plane will taxi. Now, I know you know this word as a noun, but did you know that to taxi can also be used as a verb? And it simply means to drive the plane on the ground. And you will always taxi on what we call the tarmac. This is the area of the airport where planes taxi and park. So if your friend is picking you up from the airport and they ask, where are you? You can say, we are taxiing on the tarmac. And once you have landed safely and gotten off the plane, there's a few more steps before you can leave the airport. If you are traveling internationally, you will have to go through immigration and customs. Immigration is the area and process of checking the legal documentation of passengers to enter a foreign country. And customs is the place where officials check your belongings to make sure you're not bringing anything illegal into the country. And as you're going through immigration and customs, you often have to present a visa and a passport. A visa is an official document allowing someone to enter a foreign country, and your passport is a government-issued identification card which certifies your nationality and allows you to travel internationally. And then lastly, as you make it out of immigration and customs and onto your vacation, you will often experience jet lag, especially if you have traveled very far. Jet lag is the feeling of being tired and exhausted due to flying across different time zones. Whew, okay, 60 words to talk about airports, airplanes, and flying. Now, don't forget to download that free PDF in the description below so that you can bring it with you on your next flight to help you navigate the airport a little bit more easily. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure you like it and subscribe to my channel so you can keep improving your English with me. I'll see you next time. Bye!